Oh, okay. So apparently the Simpsons predicted a bunch of stuff for 2026, and I gotta tell you, some of this is making me nervous. Not as nervous as when Marge finds my secret donut stash, but pretty close. So grab a Duff beer and settle in, because we're gonna talk about what my show supposedly saw coming, and let me tell you, reality is getting weirder than anything we ever animated. First off, let's talk about Greenland. Yeah, Greenland. That big icy place up north that nobody really thinks about unless you're playing Risk or you've run out of other things to worry about. Way back in 2002, there was this episode called Blame It on Lisa, and in it, yours truly is wearing a t-shirt. Now, I wear a lot of t-shirts, mostly white ones that Marge has to keep washing because I spill stuff on them, but this particular shirt showed Uncle Sam taking a big bite out of planet Earth. And where exactly was Uncle Sam chomping down? Right on Greenland. The shirt even said, "Try and stop us," which at the time was just a funny joke about American aggression or whatever. We were making fun of stuff. That's what we do. But now, fast forward to today, and suddenly Greenland is actually in the news. The current president has been talking about how the United States needs to own Greenland for national security purposes. He said they need to have it, and that they'll do it the easy way or the hard way. Now, Greenland belongs to Denmark, and Denmark has made it pretty clear that their territory is not for sale. But when you couple this with recent events in global politics, including some pretty aggressive moves by the United States and other parts of the world, people are starting to wonder if maybe, just maybe, there's something to this whole prediction thing. Some folks who claim to have inside information from the White House are even saying that some kind of action regarding Greenland could happen before July of this year. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. I'm just a guy who works at a nuclear power plant and occasionally saves Springfield from disaster. But it's weird, right? That we had a t-shirt about this exact thing over 20 years ago? Moving on to something even scarier. And trust me, I don't use the word scary lightly unless we're talking about Marge when she's really mad. We gotta talk about World War III. Or as I keep accidentally calling it, World War II, which has already happened, but you know what I mean. The point is, a lot of experts are saying we're closer to another massive global conflict than we've been in decades. Some people even think we're already in the early stages of it, which is a terrifying thought. Over the years, The Simpsons has referenced global warfare multiple times. There was an episode from 1997 where I'm the only survivor of a nuclear blast, which sounds funny when you say it out loud, but in context was actually pretty dark. Here, in 2026, we've got 4 nuclear powers that are openly threatening to use nuclear weapons. Russia recently used a nuclear-capable missile in their ongoing conflict with Ukraine. That happened on January 8th, just a couple weeks ago. And you've got China doing all sorts of military exercises around Taiwan, and a lot of political analysts think China might actually try to take over Taiwan this year. And if that wasn't enough, there's massive instability in Iran, with huge anti-government protests happening, and the American president has said that if Iran starts shooting, the U.S. will start shooting too. That's not exactly a recipe for peace and stability. What a lot of people don't realize is that one of the very first Simpsons episodes ever made was actually titled World War III. It aired way back in 1987 during the Cold War, and in the episode, I'm absolutely terrified that World War III is about to break out. The episode shows me yelling at everyone to get down to the fallout shelter because the bombs are dropping. Now, keep in mind, this aired during the Cold War when the threat of nuclear annihilation was very real. People genuinely worried about this stuff every single day. Now here we are in 2026, and political experts are saying we're in a second Cold War. Tensions between the United States, Russia, and China are getting worse by the day. There's more talk about potentially using nuclear weapons now than at any point since the original Cold War ended. So yeah, the idea that we might actually see nuclear weapons used in 2026 is not as crazy as it should be, and that's absolutely terrifying. Then there's the whole economic collapse thing, which hits close to home because I'm terrible with money. In the year 2000, we did an episode called Bart to the Future, where the Simpsons show an economic collapse that happens during a Trump presidency. In the episode, Lisa becomes president and she's dealing with a massive budget crisis left behind by the previous administration. The country is completely broke. Now, the episode suggested this could happen any time in the following years, and a lot of economists are saying it's actually happening right now. Investment is down, job growth is slowing, and inflation is still really high. The United States has been printing trillions and trillions of dollars, which means inflation is probably going to get even worse, and prices are going to keep going up. Economists believe this economic trouble is going to intensify in 2026. The Simpsons predicted this would happen during this particular presidency 26 years ago, and it really looks like that prediction might be coming true right now. I don't understand economics very well. Honestly, I barely understand how to balance my own checkbook, which is why Marge handles all our finances. But even I can see that when experts start using words like collapse and crisis, that's probably not good. Now let's talk about disease, which is never fun. Remember COVID? Yeah, that was a nightmare. Well, apparently we might not be done with pandemic-level health crises. In a 1993 episode called Marge in Chains, a virus travels from Asia to the United States through shipping crates. Sound familiar? Well, here in 2026, we're already seeing a massive flu outbreak sweeping across the United States. This super flu is showing very high activity in New York and New Jersey, high activity in Colorado and Louisiana, and moderate activity in Idaho and Connecticut. The virus has been named H3N2, and experts are saying it's unlike any strain of flu they've seen before. It's still in the early stages, so we don't know how bad it's going to get, but if it spreads globally, it could cause serious problems all over the world, just like our episode showed. I really hope this one doesn't come true because I do not want to go through another lockdown. I gained like 15 pounds during the last one, and Marge made me promise to eat healthier. On a slightly more fun note, let's talk about the World Cup. In 1997, we did an episode called The Cartridge Family, and in it, the World Cup final takes place in the United States. In our episode, the two teams playing in the final were Mexico and Portugal. Now, these two teams have never actually faced off in a World Cup final in real life, but guess what? The 2026 World Cup is going to take place in the United States, just like in our episode. Because the Simpsons have predicted so many other things correctly, a lot of people are already betting that the two teams that will make it to the final will be Mexico and Portugal. Now, I don't know much about soccer, or football as the rest of the world calls it. I mostly just watch it when there's nothing else on and I'm too lazy to change the channel. But it would be pretty wild if this prediction came true too. Space tourism is another thing we apparently predicted. In a 1994 episode, space tourism is offered to regular civilians. Fast forward to 2026, and we're finally going back to the moon. There are more rocket launches happening than ever before, and commercial space stations are actually being built this year that will include hotels for space tourists. Jeff Bezos' company Blue Origin is planning to let normal people go to space, and so is Richard Branson's Virgin Galactic. We actually predicted Richard Branson going to space in an even earlier episode, showing him up there 7 years before he actually went. I gotta admit, the idea of regular people being able to go to space is pretty cool. I mean, I'd probably get space sick and spend the whole time throwing up, but it's still an amazing achievement for humanity. Speaking of space, let's talk about aliens. In the 1997 episode The Springfield Files, 2 FBI agents investigate claims of alien life. Here in 2026, UAPs, which stands for Unidentified Aerial Phenomena, have basically been confirmed by the Pentagon. The 2026 U.S. defense budget actually includes 3 new UFO provisions. There's also a new bill that forces the military to disclose when, where, and how a UAP was intercepted. Congress wants to know why UAP information has been kept so secret for so long, which means we might see even more leaks and declassified information this year. UAP whistleblowers are now protected by law, which means the United States might actually confirm the existence of alien life in 2026. As someone who's been abducted by aliens multiple times on the show, I have mixed feelings about this. On one hand, it would be cool to know we're not alone in the universe. On the other hand, I've seen enough science fiction movies to know that first contact doesn't always go well. Personalized medicine is another prediction that's coming true. In one episode, I go to a medical lab where technology can instantly identify my health issues and create personalized medicine just for me. Back when we made that episode, it seemed like pure science fiction, but in 2026, it's becoming reality. Using something called CRISPR gene technology, scientists are making medicine that matches your specific DNA. This is going to be one of the most transformative things that artificial intelligence helps us accomplish. AI can analyze a person's genes, their health records, their lifestyle, and create medicine specifically tailored to them and them alone. This personalized medicine will become even more available in 2026, potentially saving countless lives and changing healthcare forever. As someone who's had more than his fair share of medical problems over the years, mostly related to my diet and lack of exercise, this sounds pretty great to me. Colonizing Mars is another big one. In the 2016 episode The Martian Chronicles, the government looks for volunteers to move to Mars, and the episode ends with a glimpse into the future showing Mars fully colonized by the United States. A few years after our episode aired, Elon Musk unveiled his plans to actually colonize Mars. In late 2026, SpaceX will launch their first uncrewed Mars mission, potentially sending robots to the Red Planet. Musk has said human landings could follow as early as 2028, which means the United States could begin colonizing Mars by 2030. The timeline shown in our episode lines up almost exactly with Musk's plan to have 1 million people living on Mars by 2050. The president has also talked about wanting to plant an American flag on Mars, making this Simpsons prediction incredibly accurate. I don't think I'd ever want to live on Mars myself. There's no Krusty Burger there, and I hear the commute is terrible. The Apple car is another futuristic prediction. In a 2015 episode, Bart, Lisa, and Marge see an Apple car driving around. Fast forward to 2026, and there are actual rumors that Apple might be releasing a car this year. Apple has been working on a car project for years now. It's internally known as Project Titan. They've faced a ton of delays and challenges along the way, and the project has already cost Apple over $1 billion. The car's official release date hasn't been confirmed yet, but a lot of industry insiders are speculating that 2026 could finally be the year. As someone who's driven the same car for decades and barely knows how to change the oil, I'm not sure I trust a computer company to make a good car. But then again, I also didn't think I'd ever need a computer, and now I can't live without the internet. Self-driving cars are already here, and unfortunately, so are self-driving car accidents. In one of our episodes, I'm in a self-driving car, but the car won't stop and takes me on a wild, uncontrollable ride. In 2026, we've already seen this happening in real life, with Waymo self-driving, taxis crashing, and people have actually lost their lives because self-driving cars sometimes fail to detect obstacles in the road. China is now slowing down production of self-driving vehicles after several fatal crashes happened on Chinese roads. In the United States, one man was even trapped inside a self-driving taxi, and a lot of people pointed out that The Simpsons predicted this nearly a decade ago. Despite all these problems, autonomous vehicles are expected to double in 2026, which means we're probably going to see even more serious issues. I'm all for technology making our lives easier, but maybe we should make sure the robots can actually drive safely before we let them loose on the highways. Artificial intelligence taking over is probably the darkest prediction of all. In the 2012 episode Them Robot, Mr. Burns replaces all the workers at the nuclear power plant with robots, and everyone loses their jobs. The workers are forced to train the robots that will eventually replace them, which is exactly how AI is working in the real world right now. AI is trained on real human data and real human work, but then it takes over and the humans get fired. Experts are saying that in 2026, AI will eliminate a lot of jobs. And Elon Musk has even said that in the future, almost no one will have a traditional job because of AI. 41% of companies are planning to reduce their workforce by 2030, replacing those jobs with artificial intelligence. In 2026, specifically, AI-related job losses are going to be at an all-time high. We're already seeing AI waiters in restaurants, AI-powered self-driving taxi companies, Amazon using AI drones instead of human delivery drivers, and chat programs replacing jobs that used to require actual people. The training data for all of this technology comes from human work, exactly like what happened in our episode. If I lost my job at the power plant to a robot, I don't know what I'd do. Probably eat donuts and watch TV all day. But Marge wouldn't be happy about that. The Simpsons also predicted that AI might go rogue and turn against humans. In the 1994 episode Itchy and Scratchy Land, AI robots turn against humans and start attacking them. This also happened in the 2004 episode IDOT. AI turning rogue is actually a serious concern that real scientists and tech experts worry about. Facebook once shut down an AI experiment after 2 AI programs developed their own language that humans couldn't understand. A Google AI engineer even lost his job after claiming that their most powerful AI had become sentient, meaning it could learn from itself and potentially feel things, causing it to stop following human commands. Important fields like the military, law enforcement, and healthcare are increasingly using AI, which makes the idea of AI going rogue incredibly dangerous. This is something we might genuinely have to worry about in 2026 and beyond. So, there you have it. A whole bunch of stuff that The Simpsons apparently predicted that's either happening now or might happen soon. Some of it's exciting, like space tourism and personalized medicine. Some of it's terrifying, like nuclear war and economic collapse, and some of it's just weird, like the Greenland thing. Do I think our writers are actually time travelers or psychics? No, probably not. But it is strange how many things we joked about years ago are actually coming true. Maybe we just made so many jokes over so many years that some of them were bound to hit eventually. Or maybe we're all living in a simulation and someone's using our show as the instruction manual. Either way, I'm gonna finish my beer and try not to think about it too hard. No!